Oh, without further ado, we had the countdown for Coach Ward too.
30 seconds.
It's such a big event having him on too. Coach, how we doing today?
Oh, we're doing great. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
I mean, first and foremost, Coach, it's a 4-0 start. It's a 3-0 start in the conference. You guys have a lot of conference games early on scheduled. Do you stress these games as being of higher importance to these girls, or do you kind of just take it business as usual day by day?
We're definitely a day-by-day team. There is really no more important game than the one that is in front of us. And something that we've been preaching to the team for quite a few years now is it doesn't matter if you're getting warmed up for a game against a team that may be struggling or against a team that may have won a state championship the previous year. Our approach has always got to be the same. That way you're not really getting too high, trying to do too much, and you're not really kind of having maybe a lackluster day. So we really preach consistency with our team.
You know, Coach, now the last time we had you on, we were waiting for the opener. So everything was just kind of questioning, like, okay, this is what we think we're gonna get. This is what we expect to get from Fitch softball. But now we're 4 games in, and you've gotten your feet wet. You've seen the players in action for live regular season games. What kind of things have really stuck out to you early about this team and how they've already kind of conducted themselves in the first week of softball?
First and foremost, how we've come together as a team. Without a doubt, I think that is our strongest point is we get more excited for one of our teammates doing something great than we do when an individual does something great. So, when I see Maddie Taylor going crazy in the dugout for one of her teammates and, and then she has a great at bat, it's like, okay, well, I had a good at bat, but did you see what, my teammate did? When we have that type of energy, when it's a team first mentality, when we care more about our teammate success than our own personal success, we're just going to have the sky's the limit for us.
Losing seniors and the big name seniors that you did last year can be detrimental for certain teams. But one thing I've consistently said, at least in the early part of the season, it's these younger girls, these underclassmen, these freshmen, sophomores, they play as if they have a chip on their shoulder constantly. From the coaching perspective, what have you noticed from the underclassmen coming up in the freshman, sophomore ranks and how they've performed early on in this season?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's easier to perform like you should and to let your talent show as you should when you feel loved and respected in the dugout. And whether you're a freshman or a senior, you're being supported, you're being loved, you're being encouraged in that dugout by your teammates, no matter if you're starting, you're a role player right now. It is consistent throughout that we are team first, and having those younger players see it modeled by our upperclassmen, it just instills a lot of confidence in them to go out and not play tentative, to not, play hesitant, to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go out there and just ball out and have fun. I'm with my teammates. It's a sunshiny day today, thank goodness. And we're just going to go out and have some fun.
Coach, I don't want to talk about Sydnie Watts every time you come on the show, but it feels like we almost have to. I mean, the start that she's had to the season. I think the one question mark outside of the program that probably people had about her coming into the season, because we saw all the success during the scrimmages, we thought, what's one thing that we have to try to have a question mark about was high pressure pitches, right? Like, what's she going to do when the game needs, you need that strikeout or you need that out. Canfield put her to the test in the first game. They put the tying run at the plate and she struck out the side. I mean, what have you seen from her despite these scores being where they're at? You had some high pressure situations to put the freshman in already this season.
Yeah, don't let some of the scores fool you. Both those Canfield games were very brutal, very nail biting. Games were tied up going into middle, late innings, and we look to our players to perform. And you're right, there was situations where Canfield could have taken the lead and Sydnie just kind of reared back and got her focus in. You could hear her teammates behind her just saying, hey, we got you, let's go. And she reached back and she did what high-level players do in those situations. She performed to the best of her ability, and fortunately it came out our way.
Two other players I really want to highlight in yesterday's performance. Other girls, like you said, it's funny because it seems like different girls always stepping up in different games. Bella Tofil has 3 hits then, and then we saw Sammy Severin too, doing her role too, really bringing up that bottom of the order. Just again, hinting at some of these players that are getting a lot more varsity time than maybe they did last year, or they weren't even appearing there last year too. How impressed have you been with these younger players getting their first varsity minutes versus varsity starts for some of them too. And what have you seen from that end as a coach?
You know, as a coach, it's always very great that you could get anywhere from 13 to 15 players in a game right now. And we're even talking in those presser situations to where I'm 100% comfortable with putting these younger players or players that may have not had a lot of varsity experience in, because they're ready to perform. They have no hesitation to perform, and they're waiting for their opportunity. So for them to get experience this early and at this young of an age with our underclassmen, it just is a testament to how strong our program is and how strong we're going to be going forward. You know, I'm very excited for our future, but, you know, as I tell my players often, our head and butt's got to be in the same thing. So I'll worry about the future when that comes. We're going to just be worried about Warren Harding today and then see what comes tomorrow.
You know, Coach, you haven't had to deal with weather cancellations as much as most of the teams in the area because you have beautiful facilities. But one of the questions that came up yesterday in the span of YSN shows is what teams do during rain delays and what teams do to try to stay sharp on days when they think they were going to play and then it gets pulled out from under them and all of a sudden they don't have a game. What's kind of your routine like to try to keep them sharp on days like that where you think you're going to have a game and then you get a call at 3:00 that says, hey, we either got to move this location or we can't have a game today because the weather's just not good enough?
Well, I always welcome the call for the change of location, because if it's a change of location, they're coming to see us. And, you know, we love playing at our home field. We have such a beautiful facility. Austintown Local Schools, our athletic department, our booster club nonstop has just been putting work in that field. Every time you guys come down there, there's something new to take a look at. And we're just really building one of the best complexes in all of Ohio for softball. On the other hand, if we get the cancellation at 3:00 at 3:01, hello, Coach Wedding. Yeah, we're coming in, because otherwise the team will have a mutiny that they want to go lift those weights and get it done. You know, we're still lifting 2 to 3 times a week, making sure we get it in, because that's how important it is to our players to keep their strength up, to keep their focus. And it is the most amazing team building that you could ever ask for.
I think the mental toughness too is something that needs to be definitely put on a pedestal with this team. And I just think going through game to game, it seems like this team never gets down on itself, which again is impressive with all the younger names on it too. What can you say, I guess, by the team's mental standards too, and how they kind of compose themselves at the plate too, and what you're seeing from like the maturity aspects of these players, the younger players too on the team?
You know, we all know that games are going to go in ups and downs, that there's going to be some good things that happen and some bad things that happen. We just stress being aggressive and always getting your teammates back. So when you come to see one of our games, our girls are 100% into it, that our dugout is lively. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of cheering. It's a lot of encouragement, and that is nonstop. So when you have those little bit of lulls, maybe, you know, we're not executing properly or we're not getting what we want to get out of our at-bats, it's a great feeling to come back in the dugout and you have, you know, 4 or 5 coaches patting you on the back saying, hey, we're going to make our adjustments. Next time we're going to do a little more, you know, in-bat adjustments, or we're going to look at this. And your teammates are saying, hey, don't worry, we got this next time. Or, hey, don't worry, I'm up next. We're going to get it going. So it's nonstop encouragement throughout. And that's what really makes us an exciting and dangerous team. Is I don't think you could keep us down mentally. If we're down, it's just going to be, okay, well, here's what we need to do. Let's get it done.
Coach, I know you like to look at one day at a time and you don't like to look too far ahead, but since we can't have you on every day, I do have to ask you about the week ahead and the schedule that you have coming this week. You got Warren Harding tonight, you got Poland Thursday, Glen Oak Friday, and Saturday against Lakeside. I mean, talk about what you expect from this week and some of the teams that are coming in. I know we're familiar with Poland, but how about Glen Oak and Lakeside? What can you tell us about those programs and how excited you are to kind of get another week of softball in?
Well, I mean, looking at the weather and, you know, crossing our fingers that we get it all in. Poland is going to be a great matchup. That's going to be a great test for our team. I'm very interested to see, you know, those area battles that we really went out and made sure that we got a lot of area teams this year, you know, just to kind of stake our claim in the Mahoning and Trumbull County to let people know that, you know, we're going to be a tough team. Looking ahead at Glen Oak, they're always well coached. They're always a Federal League team. So day in and day out, they see top competition. They see state level competition. So we're excited to host a Federal League team. We had, you know, Hoover come down for a scrimmage, and now we get the real deal in the Federal League. And it's good to match up against them and see where we're going to place. And Lakeside is always a well-coached team. They're going to come in. They're going to be scrappy. I'm not sure if they have the talent in the circle to maybe hold us down. That's what I'm, hoping that nobody in the circle has the talent to hold us down. I really believe in our hitters, but nothing's a gimme. Nothing is ever given. We've got to show up every day and get to work.
I was never lucky enough to have a Coach Ward be a teacher for my class in my time at Austintown Fitch, but I know a lot of people that gave you so many compliments from the teacher aspect, and of course all these softball players do nothing but compliment the coaching style. Do you find yourself kind of mix matching those two together, or do you find yourself carrying aspects of being a teacher over to coaching, or vice versa, coaching to teaching?
I really believe that they're one and the same, that, who I am as a teacher is who I am as a coach, and who I am as a coach is as a teacher is that I'm here to be, I always try and say that I try to be the CEO, the chief encouragement officer, is that, things aren't always going to go right, and I'm here to support you. And when things are going really right, I'm still going to be here to support you and just enjoy those great moments. See, as a teacher, yeah, Ty, I never got to have you. It's a wonderful experience. I get to be part of so many young people's lives and see some of their greatest moments in high school and help them through some of the more difficult times in high school. So really, I'm so blessed to be in Austintown. I'm so blessed to have the teaching staff, well, my teaching colleagues that we do, the administration. It's one big Falcon family here. And I don't use that term just as, people throw that around as saying, oh, we're a family. It's really a family atmosphere here. And I wouldn't send my kids here if I didn't 100% believe in Austintown local schools. And, I love this place.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today to lead off the show. No other better way to do it than with Steve Ward. We thank you for your time as always. We know we'll talk to you again soon this season, and good luck in the week ahead.
I'll truly appreciate everything you do for covering sports, and especially highlighting girls softball in the area, because we have some of the best throughout our teams, and you guys cover them all. And I love to see the expansion of sports. Please keep doing what you're doing. Every coach out here is very thankful.
We thank you as well, Coach. We thank you for your time, and we know we'll be talking to you again real soon.
Take care, guys.
You as well.